Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Sports Network for this Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship round at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. Once again, I'm Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath with Sam Kumo on the cameras. He's providing some great shots of one of the newer tracks on the iRacing service. Adam, we're here. We're at the historic layout. It's the classic layout that a lot of F1 fans prefer. And it does provide some unique challenges for the drivers today.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here. As you said, one of the newer tracks to the iRacing service. I think both this track and car combination made its debut on the sim at the same time. I do remember testing it out at the Sim Racing Expo a couple of years back. And yeah, the classic layout, the long hairpin at turn 10, and no chicane either at the end of the lap. So it's not something we get to see too often, at least in the cars anyway. I think the bikes, they still have the flat out, they still have the blast from turns 12 to 13 without the chicane there. So this should be a really interesting battle for these guys as we edge towards the end of the season. This is round 9 now of 13, and the points are still ridiculously close even after so many races that we've had so far this season. So yeah, plenty to watch out for at this track.
Yeah, indeed, and we see the points on the screen. Just 8 separates Dave Baker and Ross Balfour at the top of the championship standings. Baker was saying to us after the race meeting last week that he thought that he wouldn't be in the lead anymore, but as it transpires, he is. And then just a further 8 points back, Adam, to Matt Turnbull, who's in 3rd place in his first season in the championship.
We seem to be saying it every week now. We're just amazed at how good all of the rookies have been this season. HM Engineering have done amazingly well. Matt Turnbull has gone to Pure Sims and fitted in straight away pretty much, out qualifying and outpacing quite a lot of experienced heads in the ARLTC. And the Team Chimera guys, they you can't rule them out either at all. So plenty of great names doing well this season in their first campaign in the ARLTC. And yeah, Matt Turnbull doing a very good job in this qualifying session at the moment as well.
Yeah, and they joined the... Oh dear, there's a crash there, and that looks like Fraser Smith, and I think he was with Kimichev, and that appears to be turn 4, Adam. I'm not sure, but looked like there was an issue there that the stewards might want to have a look at. Looking at the AM category on the screen now, Ricardo Carlson leads the way, the Swedish driver in the Hell Racers car. 20-point lead over Mark Woodhouse, and then another Mark Johnston is in 3rd, 60 points off the lead. Toby Ward is 4th, Ben Gregory is 5th, Nathan Davis is in 6th. Yeah, this corner, Adam, that the HM Engineering car, which is Norbert Leitner, has just gone through, for all intents and purposes, doesn't really exist anymore, but it's a wonderful corner, and I'm glad to see it back tonight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, one of the two extra corners that we've got today. And yeah, turn 10, that was reprofiled in 2004 to make it, I believe, more of an overtaking opportunity, because now, as you probably have seen, it's more of a sweeping left-hander. And then turn 12, that was turned into a tight chicane complex in 2007. I'm not sure the reason why behind it, really, because as we'll see, turn 13, the final corner, there is a lot of gravel. There is a massive gravel trap there, so it's not as if we were short of runoff area, but that's been on the F1 calendar now for quite a few years. So yeah.
I think originally the idea was to try and promote overtaking, trying to give another overtaking opportunity, but it's such a short run from that 90-degree right-hander at turn 13 to the chicane that really, unless you're right behind or even alongside, there's not really much chance of getting moved on the chicane. We don't really ever see it. So maybe this will be a good idea to try to make it, maybe give these touring car drivers a bit of a chance to build up some slipstream down the main straight. So we may see a lot more moves into turn 1 as well. And what it does do also, Adam, is it does lengthen the straight slightly after Campsa, which is turn 9. It probably only lengthens it by about 100 meters in real terms, but hey, 100 meters is 100 meters, and it might be a chance for someone to throw one up the inside as qualifying begins.
Yeah, I don't think we've gone full old spec and gone for the chicane that's on the you can use on the back straight.
Not a bad corner, that, to be fair. In the old F1 cars, it wasn't. I don't know how it would be in these, but it certainly was not a bad a bad corner when it came in.
And then I think in '94 they put another chicane in there to promote safety as well. But yeah, just the straight between turns 9 and 10. Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, this was the layout as it said on our overlay, circa 1995. Which, when F1 realised that it didn't need a lot of silly chicanes in order for tracks to be safe, it just needed common sense and a little bit of extra care. But yeah, this is a great layout and it's a great track. You've got fast sweeping corners, you've got long constant radius corners, you've got corners that tighten, corners that open, and you've got grass, you've got gravel awaiting on most of these bends as well, especially in this middle sector. If you go off at the likes of this corner Worth, then like you can see gravel awaits you, and you don't want to hit the sausage curbs too hard either. Although these touring cars can take a fair bit of curb, Adam. We've seen in the practice the likes of a couple of the Freem cars, for example, straddling the curb before turn 14, I think it is.
It's intriguing to see how they're going to be using the different parts of the track in this session, especially when there's so many cars circulating in front of you. Here is a look at turn 12. Then here's Marcel. Here is Fritsch and Simmons and the like going through it now.
It's this curb here on the left, mate, that's about to come up there. So a lot of the drivers were on their fast lap, going all the way out there, and almost, like I say, we mentioned skateboarding last week, almost just straddling the sausage curb, as Rushworth gets his qualifying lap underway then, after the out lap. Gives us a chance to see what the slipstream is like, although, to be honest, Adam, these guys are so closely packed that I personally am not sure whether I'd want to qualify in the middle of this, because it looks like you just be impeded many times.
I'm always amazed when you have slipstream trains like this, how you're able to get any decent laps done. And then in contrast to this in Formula 1, the cars had to be about 4 or 5 seconds apart for the slipstream to have any effect. So here we go, looking at...
to avoid the dirty air, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. I think it was Max and Alex in Quali and Spa. They were miles apart. I said, surely they're too far away. But then the slipstream was having an effect. That's how much the aerodynamics are in F1. Probably no such issue here.
This shows, it shows a lot what the effort that goes into F1. You know, compared to back in the old days when cars used to come into the pits and the mechanics used to appear like they used to stand around for 30 seconds before actually doing anything to the car. It shows the level of detail that they're willing to go to get that extra tenth of a second, and a tenth or two of a second might be all it takes to get you from maybe 15th on the grid up into the top 5. Such will be the closeness, I think, of a track which I'd have met pretty much everybody either will or should know well.
Yeah, if they haven't played it on this, they will have surely played it on some other form of game. I believe it's on Forza. It's probably on... I'm not too sure it's on GT Sport. It's definitely
yeah,
on...
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, cool. It's definitely on MotoGP as well. From that, and
they will have done it in some shape or form.
Definitely. Yeah.
Even if you just do rallying for a living, I think it was even on one of the dirt games.
Oh well,
as a rallycross dirt game.
Yeah. Oh, that's another game that's just come out. Let's look into that one. Sutton goes into second place. Alex Simpson with an early banker there in P3, a 54.2. And Corentin Guinness, who we were speaking about quite a bit at Laguna Seca last time out, he's right to the top of the timing sheet, a 54.0. To put that
fastest in practice he was as well.
And yeah, with a 52.2. So
that's Bremen going.
Oh
dear!
Oh hello.
That was a collision with one of the Pure Sims cars, I believe. Quite sure who it was, but he ends up out of the qualifying session. He will not be able to get a new car. That'll be the end of his time in qualifying. Yeah, Guinness will be looking for pole position here, Adam, I'm sure of it, because he was, like we say, super quick. Fastest first 2 sectors Personal best 2 sectors for him, but now he's coming up behind Kimichev. Kimichev not slow, only 0.5 of a second off of pole position at the moment, the Russian, but it might just affect Guinness enough to potentially mean that he doesn't improve, but we'll see, because he's just got the final 2 corners to go. In fact, it might not be as much of a hindrance, Adam, through these last 2 corners as it would be on the Grand Prix layout.
I wouldn't. See if Sutton, we were looking at Sutton. Guinness, can he go even faster? But Kimichev goes straight to the top, but Guinness then beats him. 53.5 for Kimichev. Jason Cooper goes straight to the top with a 53.423. That's something we haven't seen for a while from Jason Cooper. Last season, he and the Automech team were on fire in the early stages of the season. And there he is, straight to the top of the timing standings with a 53.4.
Jack Sedgwick up to P5 as well, showing his hand then. But he's kind of in the middle of this, isn't he? You've got to wonder what this extra slipstream, whether the trade-off is actually worth it. I would just much rather, honestly, go around and do a lap on my own with no distractions. But I guess each driver has their own preference. And Jason Cooper just behind Sedgwick, so he must have got a decent, you imagine a decent slipstream off of Sedgwick in the first. As we're nearly halfway through this 15-minute qualifying session. Balfour up into third, Adam, as well. And there he is.
Yeah, good job by Ross Balfour at the moment. His fellow core teammates, the likes of Oscar Mangan, he's down over 54.3. Have we got Carl Janssen with us for this one? We have. I don't think he set a time yet, though.
No, but he's on a decent lap. It appears, anyway. So where will he go? 29 drivers have set a time. That's the top 9 on your screen. We're looking at the man who is in currently car 92. Where does he go? He goes into 7th. That's not a bad lap for the first timed lap of his session, Adam, especially with nobody immediately sort of in front of him. Wojciech Svirovic goes fastest, and then Ross McFarlane goes ahead, and Cooper improves to 2nd.
Balfour goes 3rd, Turnbull goes 2nd. It's all happening in the top 10. Sutton puts in a new PB. That's only good enough for 7th, though, just a 1/4 of a second off the pole position time. Mark Woodhouse goes fastest in the AM category with a 53.886. The top,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, what top 1.5 dozen almost dominated by the pros, so Woodhouse able to get in there. Well, I say that, a whole load of other cars have just put in laps as well. So the top 19 now, all pros, and McFarlane and Turnbull, just 73 thousandths between them, and then just a further, 14 thousandths back to Turnbull and Cooper.
Alex Simpson down to 24th after that early promise. He'll be surely wanted to get a better lap in this time. He's got Wojciech Svirovic just behind him, who's currently sat in 5th position.
It's amazing how quickly things change in this qualifying session. First laps go in, Alex Simpson's looking quite good up in P3, then the other times come in, and then he's down there in 24th, 1.1 seconds off the pace. He might have time for one more run. He's got his teammates acting, helping him out a bit as well. I wonder if it's a bit confusing with the white line still paved down on the track for the to separate this longer hairpin from the hairpin that we use on the Grand Prix circuit now, because well, especially if I was driving there the first time, I would have been a bit wary of that.
I've had several battles with Alex around this track back in the day, and he is good round here. There could be like a force of habit thing where you might, you may break at a certain point. It is very possible. These drivers are good enough, really. I think World Championship standard.
Yeah, they don't.
A
just
lot of them
up.
here.
Yeah, they don't just.
And if they do, they should be able to adapt pretty quickly. Hadfield goes into 16th place then. On 53.767. Kip Stevens gets his first lap of the day in as well. That is good enough for only 36th place for the 2-time champion.
Yeah, we saw Kit back at the front, didn't we, at Laguna Seca, beneficiary of the reverse grid in race 3. Don't think he stayed at the front for too long, but it was good to see him back up there again. And in the early stages, he did give as good as he got. And here's Woodhouse again, 23rd place. Or make that 24th as somebody else sets a time quicker than the Team Mad car, which is looking very good, I must say. I don't know what they've done in terms of their paint or whether it's a graphics update from iRacing, but the sun is glistening off that burgundy, maroon, red and black and yellow.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful virtual evening here at the Circuit de Catalunya. And we're looking at Marcel Fridge, who's in 25th place, second overall in the AM category at the moment. It must be quite demoralising. I don't want to be 1 second off pole, but to be 25th around a track like this, it's quite a long lap, 1 minute 53 seconds.
Well, yeah, if you were 25th in Formula 1, you'd be close to either the 107% limit or not qualifying at all. But here, in the ARLTC, yes, you'd have to go through pre-qualifying. But here, if you're 25th, you're just 1 second away from pole position. And, as Oscar Mangan goes within 1,000th of a second of Ross McFarlane. And when you're a driver and you see you're just 1,000th off pole, it's almost impossible to comprehend where on earth I've lost that 1,000th on the lap. As he now continues to try and find that 1,000th and try and get pole position.
Yeah, even clenching your buttocks might have lost you the 1,000th of a second. You don't know. That's the thing about motor racing. You're not too sure. But he's still got into the front row. He will be on the dirty side of the grid, of course, but still a decent position to be in, although it is a long run down to turn 1, of course, here in Barcelona. Let's have a look at them on board with Mangan as he tries again. Dennis Neidhart stays 15th, actually. Same time identically as Pete Newman, 15th and 16th, as you can hear the tyres really sliding around quite a lot for Mangan in the middle sector. Carl Janssen sets personal best first sector for him. Let's see what he can do in sector 2. Well, it's not an improvement for Janssen. What's Mangan got on tap for us here? Second intermediate. It's pretty good. I don't think it's great. He's trying to wring everything out of the car, Adam. He's only got like 2 minutes left to get this lap in. They won't get another lap in as it happens because qualifying timer does go off at 15 minutes dead. So this will be the final lap for these guys as they try and eke out those extra hundreds and thousands as across the line he comes. Is an improvement for the Irishman? No, it isn't.
No, fractionally slower. He's got the Apex boys, some of whom he'll be familiar with, just in front of him. And you're right, yeah, when the clock reaches 15 minutes, we automatically advance to the first race as one of the Apex cars goes very sideways and someone almost gets launched off the sleeping policeman on the inside. I think back in the early days of knockout qualifying in Formula 1, they used to have the same rule where I think in Q1 and yes, Q2, if the clock once the clock reached 15 minutes or whatever it was, yeah, you weren't allowed to finish your lap back then.
I think it may literally have been just the first round, or the first 2 rounds, and then they changed it for possibly Australia or whenever it was. And it made much more sense as well, I think. It allowed people to get an extra lap or 2 in. Simpson 14th in the end. I tell you, mate, it's the newer guard who make up the majority of the top 10. However, it is the reigning champion. He's been around long enough now, Ross McFarlane, who looks like he will be on pole position. There are a couple of drivers still going around, but as the clock ticks down, 3, 2, 1. And that will be the end of qualifying.
Which means we've got to look at the grid for the first race of the day. We'll have a look at how many cars will be reversed at the end of this one soon. But here's the grid, and it's Ross McFarlane just 1,000th of a second ahead of Oscar Mangan. can't get really closer than that, can you? George Simmons in P3, then Matt Turnbull 4th, 5th Jason Cooper. Good to see him back up there. Vlad Kimichev in 6th, then Ross Balfour, Corentin Guinness, then Jack Sedgwick and Wojciech Savidovic completing the top 10. Ash Sutton in 11th, 12th Jason Stepney, 13th on the grid is Dave Baker, then Alex Simpson with a late lap to get him higher than where we saw him towards the end of the session. Then it's Carl Janssen for Core Sim Racing, Dennis Neidhart, Pete Newman, Jamie Rushworth, Jake Blackhall, who was racing in the first round of the Aussie V8s series a couple days ago, and Norbert Leitner completing the top 20. 21st for Adam Hadfield, 22nd Damien Harris. The highest Pro-Am goes to Mark Johnston. It was Mark Woodhouse for so long, but it's his namesake Johnston that is the highest of the Pro-Am cars. Craig Williams, 24th. 25th on the grid, JB Masida, then Jeremy Wilson, then it's Mark Woodhouse, Ricardo Carlson, Marcel Fritsch, and Marius Breuer completing the top 30. 31st on the grid, Darius Neidhart, then Nathan Davis, Kip Stevens, Toby Ward, Rob Sutherland in 35th, Baron Glover, 36th on the grid. 37th is John Roberts, then Paolo Bremer, Kieran Harrison, Fraser Smith. These cars all not setting times, by the way, of Doka, Gregory, Morgan Butler, Simon Fields, Lee Berridge, Luke Kidsley in 46th, and that is the last car on the grid. So 23 rows of cars, and we're going to get set to go for the first race of the day. It was Pure Sims Esports versus Core Sim Racing. This should be good. Here come the lights.
Here we go then. The long run down to the first chicane here at Spain. And the lights are out and the race is on. Oh, what a start that is from Turnbull. Again, absolute rocket off the grid. McFarlane away very well as well from the lead. And Turnbull's going to cover off. Pure Sims are going to have the monopoly here into the first corner. Or Turnbull has to be careful he didn't run into the back of McFarlane. But it's two Pure Sims cars from two different teams, 1 and 2.
Yeah, good clean start by everybody. Now we're going to go through turn 3. Cold tyres in the early stages as well, plus they'll have race fuel as well, so watch out for quite a few cars running wide. 3 wide in the midfield there, that's one of the core cars. That is car 2, that is Ross Balfour.
Kimichev and Kines.
Wow.
Svidovic now on the outside. So still 3 wide going through 5.
Very risky there by Wojciech in the early stages, because of course there is that big gravel trap out there, so if he does get forced wide, he'll be in that.
Yeah, if you get put there, it's very much like going to the outside of a hairpin at the start. You do struggle if the drivers do knock into each other on the inside. This is the run down to turn 10 now, and this is what we can see from Ash Sutton's perspective. Guinness ahead, Svidovic on the right. Turn 10 is a long corner now. Then the fairly tight right-hander, a little bit of gravel for Sutton. Svidovic looks to get the best of him through the fast right-hander at 13, and then 14 is now an interesting corner, Adam, where you can't take it flat out like you could before.
Oh, and off!
Oh, into the gravel.
Into the gravel goes Jake Blackhall. Well, he was racing at Belle Isle, where the track's surrounded by concrete walls. Now he's here in the ARLTC, and he's in the gravel at the end of the first lap. But he's managed to get going, and it doesn't look like he's hit anything either. As George Simmons is in. Oh,
they've hit something. That's Wojciech Svidovic in the gravel as well.
Oh no! Well, this is a nightmare for Apex Racing.
And Alex Simpson off.
Is that all 3 Apex cars? Was it, or just the 2?
That's the turn 1 gravel trap, Adam, and there's more carnage in 3.
That's Pete Newman in the Freem UK car. That's JB Messina, the Frenchman, as well. There was somebody else that was off as well.
Car looks like he's smoking slightly. That might. Oh,
it's
no, that's Bremer.
And that's Baron Glover.
Glover is bouncing over, trying to right the car.
And
can't do that.
Well, here's a replay then. So that's Jack Sedgwick looking down the inside. Oh
no!
Oh
big
no!
Huge one between Svidovic and Sutton. Simpson was the unfortunate victim of that. Then we go round the corner, and there's a fiercely forward car getting shoved by Leitner. Leitner into the frame car, and round goes Masida. And then, oh, is it a bad rejoin, possibly? Here comes Glover. Oh, it's Woodhouse in the middle of the track. Oh dear, so a lot of drivers coming to grief there. Huge set of incidents, a chain reaction. Set off right in the first corner.
Well, yeah. I was just amazed by how the Apex car turned to the left down the front straight. Yeah. I need to watch that one back.
Wouldn't that? Might have to see it again at the end or something. But this is Balfour, Guinness, Kimichev. Simmons sets the fastest lap as Guinness goes for the inside. He has to go back on the racing line. Gets a little nudge from Kimichev, who's impressive early in his career in the ARLTC as well. Ross McFarlane leading the way. He's got only 0.4 of a second over Matt Turnbull though, whose start was absolutely monumental from 4th on the grid, Adam. That was a bit like Jarno Trulli, I think, in 2004 when he went flying through.
Oh god, yeah. I was watching some of the 2004 early because we're back at Imola this week, so I was getting all nostalgic with that. But yeah, he got a fantastic start. The Renaults were mighty off the line back then as well, weren't they?
Yeah, and they also used to sometimes qualify fairly light, didn't they? Which used to aid that brilliant starting ability. Imola, of course, a track where the ARLTCR has been on many occasions.
Really looking forward to that this weekend as here comes.
And I wonder that if you take a shot for every time someone accidentally says San Marino Grand Prix, you probably won't make it through the weekend. See how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to be careful with that. As McFarlane, there's cones in the middle of the circuit over there. As McFarlane dispatches them off into the gravel, Mangan's in 3rd. We're on board with George Simmons, who was the fastest man on the previous lap, and right on the tail of Mangan. This is impressive from George Simmons. He's usually around the top 10, but he's often struggled to be right at the pointy end of it.
Maybe this could be the season to turn that around. He's doing okay in the championship, isn't he, George Simmons? Just looking at those points, and yeah, he's not too far away at all.
Flashing the lights at Oscar Mangan as well, trying to derail him.
Oh, who was it? We saw somebody last week that just had them on full for the whole race, didn't we?
Williams, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Michael Avdoka's been known to do that in the past. Here's a replay. Is this Sutton going off again?
Yeah, it was down at turn 10. I don't know if he outbraked himself or got a wheel on the grass or something, but he looked like he might have even tried to flick the... Oh, damage. So who knows where he's... whether that's the damage from earlier or new damage. Kimichev is under threat from Jack Sedgwick here in the matte black INX liveried car. He goes through, so that's a nice move there by Sedgwick up into 8th place. It started.
Sedgwick was quite lucky not to get involved in the incident at the start of lap 2. He was right in the thick of it with Sutton and the Apex cars when that all kicked off. He was able to avoid it and carry on, and there he is getting up into the top 8. Jason Stehny, who's got Adam Hadfield right behind him. We saw Hadfield doing well at Laguna Seca as more cones get sent flying. And a bit
big
of a
sideways, yeah, big sideways from Stehny through turn 11. The cork in the bottle now, the Craig setup shop driver, as Rushworth, Johnston, Leitner, Williams and Davies all immediately behind in this big train. Oscar Mangan, fastest of all, 153.086 on the previous lap, and you can see how much he's closed in on Turnbull and how Turnbull is keeping very, very close to McFarlane. Sorry, those magnets are well and truly attached. And Jason Cooper at the back of this group, Adam, is just an Eon as well.
So as things stand, it's a Pure Sims 1-2. Pure Sims Esports game piloted by Ross McFarlane. Pure Sims OVP Matt Turnbull. And it's Core Sim Racing in P3, or I thought about making it P2 there. Oh, whoa! A little bit sideways there by Turnbull, helping the car turn in a little bit, but it hasn't helped him in terms of the exit. And we've got a face full of Audi RS3 as we go into the chicane.
We were a passenger in this car then for a second. Great camera shot though, because what it does do is it showed how on the left-hand corner the inside left wheel was almost off the ground, as sometimes can be the case in these front-wheel drive touring cars. Is there going to be a move here? No, I think the drivers have decided that braking area is not sufficient enough, and that was my worry, although some of these might decide not, as Adam Hadfield tries to go through the middle, and if he pulls this off, it'd be absolutely almighty.
Oh.
There's a little tap on Williams there behind, and Hadfield's going to get this move done though, Adam. That's sensational.
What a move by Hadfield, and Craig Williams having to cut the course to get back on the circuit, sent some cones flying as well. And here is Hadfield again with Jamie Rushworth right behind him.
I don't know how many of my words I want to eat on that one, because I was just about to say I thought drivers were thinking that wasn't a suitable overtaking place in this race, but Adam Hadfield thought, well, to hell with this. And Jamie Rushworth on the inside. It's going to be alongside into turn 1. He's going to get that one done nicely. He takes the preferred line. And the former champion up into 13th.
Oh, and that was Johnston prizing open the door there, I think. And I think he's going to be able to get that done as well. So that's Hadfield within the space of a couple of corners, down 2 places. Here it is on the replay then. Johnston in the Hesketh Racing car, we're on board with him. There's a... yeah,
maybe.
I don't even think there was contact there, you know.
He might have got a bit sideways, might he? Or maybe... Yeah, who knows? If he was contact, it was the slightest little tap.
I wonder if the old spotter went inside and then Hadfield...
And he instinctively just moved across. Oh, that's a decent shout as well.
Lap 6 of 11 then, so we're past the halfway mark in this one. First of 3 races. We'll have a reverse grid as well in race 2 and race 3. It is 30, I'm going to guess it's in the high 30s for as more cones get sent flying. I'm going to guess it's in the mid to high 30s for race 2, and 24 cars are going to be reversed for race 3.
Yes, 35 and 24.
And so as things stand, 35 will be a Darius Neidhart. He is currently in the reverse grid money spot. Then it's Alex Simpson just behind him in 36th, and he is 1.7 seconds away.
Desperation for Simpson, won't it, to try and get past and try and get on pole position. So I'll be honest, it'll be the only way he can salvage his weekend after that crash. But has he got the pace? Has he got the bravery? With potentially a damaged car, to try to make it past, well, not potentially a damaged car, definitely a damaged car, to try and get past Neidhart. He's got experience, he's got the skills, but can his vehicle pay the bills? Neidhart, who started in 31st place, he's not had the finest run out there today. Even with all those other incidents, he's been shuffled back a bit. Simpson, though, has 5 laps to try to make something happen. You can see Morgan Butler just ahead of them as well. He'll be interested, certainly, in getting a good starting position for race 2. So he's another one who's pretty quick when he wants to be, but he doesn't seem to be in the right place at the right time so far in this 2020 season. And Neidhart now making a move on Butler. This could be good for the German. Indeed it is. He goes round the outside. And Simpson might want to follow here. Oh, or maybe not. Maybe not just yet. Surely he's going to have to take one of these guys at some point, though. I don't know if
But
he also doesn't want to make a mess of it.
Yeah, either that or hope someone further up the road ends up falling off somewhere. And you are right, yeah, 34th and 35th. Oh, speaking of that, Rob Sutherland, not at the wish of tempting fate. He is gonna get going again, I think. And
he's still ahead of that group, actually.
Still be ahead.
It's
Yeah,
actually only 2 places lost for Sutherland, despite visiting the gravel quite heavily there. Oh, speaking of gravel, that's Jason Staney, and he's off the circuit at the final corner, turn 14.
Powers or anything. Free wide. Free wide down the front straight, and it was free wide. Up the inside then goes Jamie Wilson, Michael Evdoka. It's the pure Sims cars. They're going to try and get past the Team Chimera car. Evdoka on the inside, going through turn 3, and he's got it done, it looks like.
You know, I think it was Evdoka that we saw get collected by Bremer in qualifying, and potentially that might not have helped his 41st place qualifying position, Michael Evdoka, which is extremely low for a driver of his quality. Kimichev has got past Guinness then, up into 7th place according to Timing Tower. Leitner and Hadfield having a scrap then for 16th.
And they're just behind the fight to be top Pro-Am, and that is between the 2 teammates, Mark Johnston and Nathan Davis. This is a great moment for that team, for Hesketh Racing, up inside the top 15 overall, and currently the top 2 in the Pro-Am category in race 1 as well. So they're going to be very happy with how things are looking at the moment for them.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if they go wheel to wheel at any point. Just got a feeling they probably want to beat each other more than everyone else. Tell you what, McFarlane he cannot get away up front, and it's been the case since the very first corner of the race. And Ross, well, he just looked pretty comfortable, Adam. He's not really under threat as such, but very much under pressure.
And there's quite a lot of cars as well. It's not as if it's a 2-car scrap for the lead. I think anybody down to Cooper and 5th could theoretically win this, especially if someone goes off in front or a bit of contact in the fight for the lead.
Yeah, Balfour's trying to make his way towards his gap as well. I don't think he is, but this is Davies going around the outside of Hadfield. Yeah. What's the oh no for?
Yeah, what's happened here? Because the 2 Hesketh Racing cars were running together a lap ago.
Oh.
And now that he's lost 2 places and could be about to lose a 3rd here.
Do we think there was a bit of an incident, do we? Because Mark Johnston, it does say Mark Johnston was off about 40 seconds ago, but oh dear.
Not too sure what had happened to have caused that. It must have been in the second half of the lap, because we were following them round the first half of it a lap or so ago. Here's Ricardo Carlson, who is probably one of, he's had a very good race. He's gained 8 places to get up inside the top 20. Biggest mover in the field. It's probably not too much of a surprise. He's continuing to impress. As Kieran Harrison with 23 places gained. He's up to 16th.
Carlson is the Pro-Am leader as well, of course. The Pro-Am Championship. Cone goes for a spin. Always makes me laugh how they put cones right on the, basically on the racing line when they designate the track markings. Oh, and almost having a look up the inside into 14 was Blackhall. Oh, he's got a great run onto the straight, Adam, but is he too close?
Oh, he's already ducked out the slipstream. And it's...
Well, that means progress will be slow.
Yeah, shades of Mansell and Senna here from 91.
Not quite as close together, surprisingly.
No, and it's not as the high speeds, obviously, but it looks like he's going to get it.
Oh, he's gone!
And it didn't end like that either. No,
well, I don't know if there was any contact originally. I wouldn't. It's one of those with Blackhall, isn't it? We mentioned last week. There's possibility it could be netcode. But I wonder if he was losing the rear to begin with, and he just sort of veered into Carlson. Well, who knows?
Something else has kicked off. And changes towards the front, because it is now Oscar Mangan in second, and Matt Turnbull has dropped down to third place. Here's a replay. Just when it looked like the Turnbull was going to try and make a move for the lead, Mangan with a move that caught Turnbull by surprise. A bit of contact involved as well. The course and racing car was able to get it done, and it's through into second place. Although he might not be there now.
Yeah, call him Gary Barlow, as he said, take that on the way through. It turns out that everything changes but the ARLTCR as going through the final two corners. Mangan ahead of Turnbull,
worn out.
A little bit more contact, but now using this moment to shine as he comes down the main straight ahead of the rookie. Final lap though, white flag in the air, Adam.
I don't think he's going to lose a flood of positions, Turnbull in the closing stages. But yeah, the white flag is out, and McFarlane, he has got an 0.8 of a second cushion, which is probably the biggest cushion he's had of the race so far, and it's come at the best possible opportunity with Oscar Mangan going up the inside in the early stages of the previous lap and getting second place. And it now means that the top two are back as you were again, where they qualified, and it's all about the scrap for potentially the final spot on a podium, as Turnbull, who looks like he's picked up a little bit of front-end damage to his Audi RS3, tries to keep George Simmons back.
We'll never forget, we've seen a lot of incidents on the final laps of races in this championship in the past, so you know it's not completely out of the realms of possibility that that something could happen here, as Turnbull gets a really good run up the hill actually into Kamsa. If he can follow him through Kamsa, he might have a half a shot at a move into 10, but I think Mangan negotiated Kamsa very nicely indeed. McFarlane's lead is 0.9 of a second as lights are being flashed all down the field. The stars are certainly coming out tonight in the ARLTCR. Here we go then, Russ McFarlane, just 2 corners to go. Coming through the old section, the old Grand Prix layout for the final time. Turns 13 and 14, untroubled, unchallenged on the last lap. It was a close run thing, but it's going to be the reigning champion, Ross McFarlane, who takes the checkered flag here at Barcelona and wins round 1 of the day here in the ARLTCR. Fantastic stuff from him. Mangan second and Turnbull in third in the end.
In the podium, yeah. Look at this scrap. It's going to be Johnston that's going to take the Pro-Am honours. It's still going to be a 1-2 in the Pro-Am stakes as well, with Davis just one place, but just one position behind, 2 positions behind Johnston at the end. Got there in the end. And Stehny with a personal best there at the end. Here's the fight for the reverse grid pole then. Alex Simpson is comfortably within it now. The reverse grid pole is going to go to Morgan Butler, who comes across the line in 35th place, and John Roberts, who is yet to come across the line, will unfortunately just miss out and will be starting where he finishes, and that will be 36th place in the end.
Yeah, no reverse grid pole for Roberts unless someone gets disqualified pretty sharpish, but I don't think that's happened. Ben Gregory in 37th. As we said, an unhappy day for him. Well, fantastic race. Really enjoyed that one. Very close scrap at the front. And before we take you down to the grid to start race 2, here's the race 1 results up on the screen in just a second.
Here we go. And yeah, Russell McFarlane wins by just under a second. Matt Turnbull in 3rd. George Simmons finishes 4th. Jason Cooper 5th. 3/10 of a second ahead of Ross Balfour. Then it's the two HM Engineering teammates of Vlad Kimichev and Corentin Guinness. Jack Sedgwick 9th and Carl Janssen completing the top 10. A good drive there from Carl. Dave Baker 11th, Dennis Neidhart 12th, then Jamie Rushworth, Kieran Harrison, biggest mover in the field, then Mark Johnston, Norbert Leitner, Nathan Davis, Johnston's teammate there in 17th. 18th place for Craig Williams, 19th for Adam Hadfield and Jason Stehny completing the top 20. Jamie Wilson 21st, then a flurry of Pro-Am drivers, Ricardo Carlson, the Pro-Am points leader, Marius Breuer and Marcel Fritsch there in 24th. Jake Blackwell, despite a few excursions, coming across the line 25th. And Kip Stevens, Michael Avdoka, Simon Field in 28th place. 29th in the end was Toby Ward with Rob Sutherland in 30th. Lee Berridge then 31st. Then it's Pete Newman and Alex Simpson. Darius Neidhart in 34th and Morgan Butler, the reverse grid pole. 36th for John Roberts, just missing out, and all these guys will be starting where they finished as well. Ben Gregory, Fraser Smith, 5 laps down, Baron Glover, who we saw taking an almighty turn, or turns. Ash Sutton, Wojciech Savinovic out, Damian Harris also falling by the wayside. We saw the fiercely forward car getting catapulted out of the circuit pretty much. Paolo Bremer, JB Masida, Mark Woodhouse with a lot of damage. He was involved in one of those secondary incidents after the one on the front straight. And Luke Kidsley started last, and if he did take part in race 1, he also finished last, as well as the guys have got just under a minute left, I think, to get their cars on the grid. And then we'll be getting ready to do it all over again in race 2 for another 11 laps.
Yeah, it was a pretty bonkers chain of events, wasn't it? Earlier on in the race, and pretty much all those retirements that we had came from that one, like I say, set of incidents that took place. Race 2 then. Track's going to be a little bit dirtier with all the marbles and things from the first round. Also, like I say, the racing line is going to be that bit cleaner, so look for the drivers on the right-hand side of your screen as we see it to get away pretty well. That includes Morgan Butler, Alex Simpson, Lee Berridge, Toby Ward, Michael Avdoka. They're the ones on the odd numbers. So about to go down to the grid. Can Darius Neidhart or Pete Newman or Rob Sutherland, for instance, do anything about this pole position man, Morgan Butler? Here we go then. 5 red lights above the drivers once more. Lights are off and the race is on. It's a good start by Neidhart. Tremendous start from the dirty side of the grid. Simpson get away pretty decently as well. But what a start by Darius Neidhart, the .exe car into the lead, into the first corner. Will Butler challenge him? Oh, he does, he did. He really sent it up the inside into the right-hand part in turn 1. Turn 2, though, he's hung out to dry. Simpson's on the outside of 3. That long corner, and this car's in the gravel at the back, and that's a Craig setup shop car, and possibly Harrison and Dennis Neidhart, I think, had him as well.
And one of the Hesketh racing cars just looked like it stopped before we even got to turn 1. Yeah, problems for Kidsley as well. Alex Simpson leads the race. He's managed to get by Darius Neidhart. Will Neidhart try and send it back up the inside into left-hander? No, he won't. It's going to be Newman. Yeah, Newman up the inside. I
just saw out of the corner of my eye Newman throwing one up the inside then, so the Freem car up into second place. Pete Newman used to run his own team in the series and now flying through into second place. Brilliant stuff there from Pete Newman, who started 4th. So Simpson, who started 3rd, Newman, who started 4th, already in the ascendancy and ahead of the pack as Lee Berridge trying to challenge Darius Neidhart now in the run into turn 10. There's a Pure Sims car on the grass. That's Michael Avdoka on the way down to 10. Oh, he's hit the curb quite hard, Lee Berridge, but he does manage to hold that on the inside. Just about, I think, Adam going to survive this in 4th place.
Oh, and yeah, closes the door as a result.
Oh, contact in the background.
That was Butler. Yeah.
Field, I think. Simon Field possibly, Adam, I think, was the other party.
Yeah, through goes Field, and Butler just trying to find a hole in the field to get back in. And I think he has just about done that in 10th, in 11th, just behind Ricardo Carlson.
Put a hole in him, I think.
Oh, there you go. On the front straight then, this is where we saw a bit of contact at the end of the first lap, and the slipstreaming really just starts to take effect here as Simpson leads them over the line to complete the first lap. Then it's Newman, Neidhart, Berridge, Avdoka, Field, Blackhall, Ward, and up the inside there goes Avdoka. Oh, and Neidhart's completely missed the corner. He almost takes to the escape road, and that's going to be a couple of places for Avdoka, I think.
Oh, it was awkward as well, because where he sort of was lying on the outside of the corner was right on the racing line for the drivers coming through. Avdoka had to kind of take evasive action, but still just about gets ahead of the German. But Neidhart trying to fight back through turn 4. I love this corner. If you stay to the inside, then can unwind the steering, you can take an outside line, you can even take a tighter exit for a shorter route, as long as you set up nicely for the turn 5 that dips down. If Ducker hasn't set up nicely for turn 5 though, Adam, is he's off.
Oh dear.
Well, he might not have been off, but at the very least, he made a right mess of it. Oh, that's Davies and Sedgwick getting into it. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Oh,
Chaos in the
good,
midfield.
this is good. Spots by good beer on the front of that car, by the way.
Dave Baker, who's sporting some blue rims, it looks like. I don't know whether that's a new addition. And someone there's trying to get up the inside as well. It's chaos wherever you look here.
Lightner's on the inside, and then Dave Baker trying down the fight for 20th.
Guinness as well. Yeah.
One thing I will say, Alex Simpson's off on his own at the front. We don't need to see him at the moment, but once he gets out in front, it's very difficult to rein him in, Adam. We know this, we've raced against him.
Oh yeah, raced against him in GT cars, raced against him in single-seaters.
It's almost impossible once he gets ahead of you. Sometimes he has a bit of trouble getting ahead of you, but when he does, that's the end of it. Good night, Irene, as they say. Oh, dear me, look at this. Rob on with Turnbull.
Turnbull almost in the wall, down the front straight, and Alex Simpson, yeah. I think the only way you can get by him is if you hit him, and that's what I did a little while back.
Oh, speaking of which, Kimichev likes to get his elbows out, it seems, and doing that in a decent way to try and foil Turnbull. He's on the inside there, and you saw the front wheels, the right-hand side tyres, kicking up the grass and the dirt. As Kimichev was right on the inside, well past the curb almost. He's trying to hang on in there, is Turnbull, and he is still alongside Adam into the downhill left-hander of 5.
Yeah, good racing it is between these two here. Kimichev now on the outside after being on the... Oh, and it's a problem just in front of one of the boosted cars. That might have been Simon Fields. Oh, and it's carrying on.
Oh,
that's Ricardo Carlson, and that's Norman Leitner straight into the wall.
Stevens off as well. I think he was hit.
And is that one of the fiercely forward cars?
Yeah.
No, it's Marcel. Is it Marcel
Rich
in the WS car? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shame for Fridge there. Carlson having a look at Sedgwick, then into 10. Sedgwick might turn it into a move on Field actually. Field gets a decent exit, but I wonder if he's suffering a bit. You said there was a small incident for him. Carlson trying round the outside. Field might have dirt on his tyres, you know. Oh, and into the gravel goes Sutherland. Oh, and somebody else has gone with him, and it looks like Ash Sutton.
Oh, Sutton back in the pits as well. So that's he won't be liking life in Barcelona here.
Oh no, fastest lap for Simpson.
Whoa, someone's right up against the pit wall in their defence.
Oh no! Oh, that was close.
It's still carrying on. They're still doing it. And it's happened now. Blackwell and Berridge. That had all the makings of a crash.
Oh, he's in the middle of the course.
Oh! This is him.
Oh no! This is on after all that.
Boosted on boosted.
That's the only one. It was the only one that hit him. Oh. Well, you couldn't make that up, could you? Eliminated by each other. Ill-fated. Obliterated. And out.
I don't even... yeah, well, if we get a replay of it, you'll probably see that incident had
still
all the
going on.
It was going on pretty much by the time they crossed the timing line. And
did you see the person? Did you see the frame car that was like wiggling his way down the straight? I didn't even see who it was.
But it was either Rushworth or Newman. I think there's only two of them, isn't there?
I think it's Rush. It must have been Rushworth then, as he was all over the shop, but he managed to save it. Oh, that's Simmons.
Oh, no problem for George Simmons. As Ross McFarlane tries to get by Vlad Kimichev.
I think as well, Adam, we do see on this track, because it's one that drivers know so much and so well, they can be a bit more aggressive, can't they? Because they're not just oh, I'll take that. Carlson into Cooper, and God knows what else. Oh, Carlson's round. Oh, and off goes. That's one of the. That's Savinovic punted, I think, to the side. Oh, goodness me. He's still going on in 13 and 14.
Too wide through the penultimate corner and into the final corner as well. That's Oscar Mangan, the 999, going at it with Vlad Kimichev, who seems to be, wherever the action is, Vlad is.
This is not going to go well, as you once said. So, three wide they're going to be. Nearly. Oh, Kimichev with a straight line spin. He's got the slipstream. Off of Rushworth, though, and that keeps him out of danger, at least for now. Or maybe not, because McFarlane absolutely steams in on the brakes. He needs to give space to Mangan on the inside. He does indeed, and through 3, it looks like Rushworth's now got to the head of this little queue. Simpson leads by 2.3. Newman is 2.4 ahead of Evdoka.
And we're not even at half race distance yet. And here's Adam Hadfield versus Matt Turnbull. Turnbull on the ascent up the field. He's the biggest mover in the field, of course.
Oh!
It will not be for much longer if he continues.
That was Harrison, I think. Was it?
That was Turnbull in the Pure Sims car, wasn't it, on the outside, with Harrison going up the inside and gaining a place as there's more cars going off in the background.
Did he get a hit on? Oh no! There goes George Simmons, he's in the gravel again.
Gets going again, and is now been passed by Wojciech, so he's down to 32nd, and is Ricardo Carlson going to make him go down to 33rd?
Oh, you can tell. I mean, you can. Oh, Breuer.
And one of the .exe cars has been completely destroyed. The rear of the car's missing there, and I think that might be the end of Breuer's race. You know, yeah, the car's blown, engine's gone. Race over.
Nothing wrong with the car except it's on fire. Here we go down the back straight. Oh, he's with the Craig setup subcar. Auto panel into the wall, and there goes the. Well, it seemed fine, and then the engine started smoking. Even though he got hit at the back where the engine isn't, but who knows?
Yeah, these cars are front engine.
You wouldn't know it by that though. Cedric with the fastest lap then up to 9th place. We're looking now at, and Harrison's got. I think Harrison's reasonably angry, isn't he? Because I think he got taken off earlier on, and it seems like he's a bit miffed. And he's really charging through.
Well, Harrison. Let's have a look at where he is in the standings. Harrison is currently in 6th place in the standings, just 40 points off the top. So a few points here today, especially with the likes of Baker not being in the top 15 at the moment. He senses an opportunity to try and close that down a bit here as Harrison goes into battle with Morgan Butler there in the Pure Sims car, and Matt Turnbull as well, who was on the podium in race 1.
Butler is having a decent race. Might seem a bit condescending for me to say that, given the fact that he started on the on pole position. He's now down to 13th, what was probably going to be 14th. But this quality of opposition is so strong. These guys are super fast, and you know Butler's done a good job to keep out of trouble so far, at least. Apart from that one, I suppose he did get hit, didn't he? But that wasn't, I guess, really his fault. Davies now joining him. Neidhart leads the AM category. That's Norbert Leitner recovering after a spin or two to try and get ahead. He's getting ahead of Mark Johnston. Pete Newman has actually closed the gap down by about 0.3 of a second in the last lap. Oh, there goes Butler, no! Oh.
He jinxed it. And he's also been joined by...
oh no, careful lads.
One of the Welsh guys, that's Nathan Davis, isn't it? The flag on the car, I don't know why I said that, I think I was saying what I was thinking. Hesketh Racing's Nathan Davis. Now just getting passed by Ricardo Carlson.
Inundated with a letter after that one.
I'm sure there are a few Welsh drivers in the... I think there are a few Welsh drivers in the field.
So, I think.
There might only be one.
There's only one with a big flag on the front, though, to give away who it is. It's Sabinovic. He's in 26th place. Near me. And Burridge.
Yeah, that's not too far away from reverse grid pole either. The magic number is 24, which is how old I am. And that's where JB Masida is.
Masida is. I wish I was 24 again. Masida there, you can see him there, and he's actually under threat at the moment from Wojciech Svidovic. Sorry, from George Simmons. So
Yeah,
it's not where you want to be really, because Simmons is very, very fast indeed.
Well, the Apex cars have been where the action is, and not in a good way in race 2. Wojciech and Simmons have been hit from pillar to post, and here's Matt Turnbull versus Harrison versus Hadfield going into the hairpin.
How foolish were we to say that there wasn't going to be any overtaking down at turn 10? There's been quite a bit. A fair bit of illegal moves as well, but hey, it's the drivers are taking what they can get out there. Oh, Hadfield, I tell you what, if he's in that wide line, he might be able to swoop down. Oh, maybe not, because there's now the car on the inside. Turnbull, oh, door handle to door handle.
Wow.
Nice. Very good from both. Oh, that's close.
That long hairpin pretty much guarantees side-by-side action for the whole of that final sector. Guinness from the outside to the inside. Could he get 2 in 1 here? He's going to try.
Hold on to your hats then. He's going to try and get 1, but he ain't going to get 1. Oh, he might get 1 now because Turnbull's nudged Hadfield and he's got both of them. So there you go, Adam. He did get both of them. It just wasn't the way you drew it up.
With outside assistance as well. And yeah, Guinness up into the top 11 now. He's 1.2 seconds off a spot in the top 10 with Harrison just up the road. His HM Engineering teammate, and Hadfield's not giving up. He's looking back in. He's looking up the inside into the right-hander there, but no way through there. And a few Pure Sims cars in the mix too, with McFarlane and of course Matt Turnbull, who was 3 wide with down the front straight.
A couple of moves in the top 10 to tell you about. Jack Sedgwick got ahead of Jason Staney. Yeah, he did. So that's up into 7th place. 20 positions gained for Sedgwick, as is for Carl Janssen, who's in 6th. The lead is 2 seconds now for Alex Simpson. Pete Newman matching the lap times, but doing no more than matching at the moment. Fastest man out there at the minute, actually, is Sedgwick, Adam. 53.08, which is the fastest lap of the race if it was a legal lap. The fastest lap was just achieved by Vlad Kimichev, who's down in 18th place, 153.22. That's the legitimate fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and of course, if you do pick up an off-track, it does invalidate your lap, even if it is still in the race. Vlad Kimichev, you're right, yeah, with 53.2. Here's the fight for 4th and 5th. Jake Blackhall, who did have a bit of contacts with Berridge earlier on. He's still up in the top 5 and he's going to make it the top 4 because he's up the inside of Neidhart into the first corner and he is right up there now. And Neidhart, he is the highest Pro-Am driver by a few positions. The next highest Pro-Am with the blue stripe is Toby Ward down in 10th. So Neidhart, even though he's maybe a bit disheartened by the fact he's lost that 4th place, he still has a really nice buffer here and is on for a top 5 overall as well as it stands.
Yeah, it's most likely as far as Blackhall's going to get, as Michael Evdocker is 3.4 seconds ahead of him, but nevertheless a very nice outing indeed from 11th on the grid. Carl Jansen's to make some progress as well. He started 26th. He's trying to make a move on Neidhart, and it is a very solid race for Neidhart, isn't it, from 2nd on the grid?
Yeah, really good job, especially with the races being a bit longer these days. A couple of seasons ago the races were about 15 minutes in length, now they are just about 20, and with the rate of these guys, these top pro guys fight their way through the field as well, gaining like 20 plus places.
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, no one is safe. You think, oh, we've got a huge reverse grid, I'm on pole position, there's no way they're going to get there, and all of a sudden you see them on your relative.
Yeah, genuinely, pole position is the only place where you think, oh, I might be okay here. And even then, it does not always turn out the way that you imagine. I mean, geez, I can't imagine what it would be like to have all this lot chasing you down. I mean, I've been in the series when people like Baker and Svidovic are coming after you, and Sutter. Now there's maybe 10, 15 drivers extra who are just as quick and just as strong and just as proficient at overtaking. Here's Toby Wood, started in 7th place, another strong Pro-Am performance. And the Pure Sims car very close to the quarter panel there, almost dangerously close by Turnbull. Not leaving maybe the best margin of error that I've ever seen, but Ward now gets, he's getting shuffled all the way back now, isn't he? And that's not his fault really, he just was off the line slightly as the car passed him on the inside. He's got back into line now though. He'll get the toe off McFarlane to try and stave off David Baker, who's going to fly up the inside here. Just lost the adhesion, Adam, just as he's about to turn in. Didn't quite get the grip he wanted, but he might still get this one done.
Very close. 2 laps to go as well, so time running out.
Look at Kimichev, he's just gone clean. He's just trying to go clean around the outside of Jason Cooper. And you know what, he might make this stick. He's making this car sing in these cooler conditions.
I need to stick a camera on. Vlad!
Oh, there it goes. We have done.
Well, he's stuck someone in the gravel. That's what's happened, and Vlad's managed to carry on. And that was Swift Cooper Esports' Jason Cooper that got sent for a little ride there by the quarter panel of Vlad Kimichev. 2
core cars are battling as well. Par 4 and Mangan. Mangan's late on the brakes. Is it too late? Oh, he manages to keep it. Kimichev. Going to fight him all the way. That's cutting the course, is he not? On the inside. He's letting.
He was.
Yeah, I think he was. And I think that's the slow down penalty. He's let Balfour go past and into 19th place. 24th at the moment, and it's Mark Johnston. So he's going to be receiving pole position as it stands. He's 4 tenths ahead of Masida. So that's going to be the battle. Wojciech Savinovic, 26th place. You can see him there. 1 lap to go. The white flag is flying. 2 positions for Wojciech Savinovic to get on pole position, Adam, on the last lap.
Well, if anyone can do it, it could be him. And he's only half a second away from the reverse grid pole as well. There's just those 2 cars in front of him separate him from a first position on the grid or a 26th place start for race 3 as it stands. So this could be an important lap for Wojciech.
Super important for him, for this meeting and for the championship. Alex Simpson leads by 2.2 seconds going on to the final lap. He's going to claim his 2nd win of the season if he can keep it on the track, that is, in this last lap. Savinovic's problem here, from his point of view, is that these 2 might start battling, so it might be that he's coming across a track where there's 2 cars wide and he can't really make any moves. But if I were Johnston, I would make this car, and I'm sure he will, as wide as humanly possible, because this is his chance. Him and Davies, you know, they've been known to claim wins in reverse grid races. There's definitely a chance for them to do it. As Alex Simpson comes round, he's just got 2 corners to go.
He is. Well, Alex is a lot of life in Barcelona here. And he's going to come into the final corner now with a 2-second cushion. Don't often see winning margins this big. And take the checker flag and win the 2nd race of the day. His teammates have been in strife, but he's thrived here in Barcelona. And he's going to take the checker flag to win race 2 of the day.
And now, coming around the final corner, you've got Guinness, you've got Turnbull, you've got McFarlane, Hadfield. They're all coming across to finish in the low reach of the top 10 or just outside it. And when you mentioned thriving, now we need to look at the striving for the reverse grid pole, because Masida, Savinovic, they're coming over, they've crossed. So it's going to be Johnston in 24th place who hung on to that. Very good indeed, ahead of Masida, ahead of Savinovic. Davies and Carlson just behind them as well. Yeah, that's a terrific race. Thrills and spills, some chaos, and some absolute madness out there. But hey, for those long-term fans of the series and those new, I'm sure you enjoyed every minute of that.
Come to expect that, haven't we? We've got the warm-up session now about to take place, and then we'll be heading into race 3. And yeah, we've still got race 3 to go as well, haven't we?
See, you could briefly see on that scenic shot actually the old layout coming out of turn 9, which used to be a slightly more open corner.
Just seeing it there now, yeah. Here are the race results, and Alex Simpson wins with Pete Newman 2nd for Freem UK. They'll be very happy with that. Here, Pete Newman and the rest of the team. And Michael Evdoka in 3rd with Jake Blackhall up in 4th. 5th, Carl Janssen 6th Jack Sedgwick, then it's Jason Stehny, Darius Neidhart, the highest Pro-Am driver in the field by quite some margin. I don't know what happened to the next highest one, but yeah, he is a blue car in a sea of red. Kieran Harrison, then Corentin Guinness in 10th, Matt Turnbull 11th, then it's Ross McFarlane, Adam Hadfield, David Baker, then Fraser Smith, Laurent Neitner, then Vlad Kimichev, Ross Balfour, Oscar Mangan in 19th, and Jason Cooper completing the top 20. 21st for George Simmons, then it's Toby Ward all the way down in 22nd. I don't know what happened to him late on. Craig Williams 23rd, then Mark Johnston, pole position man for race 3. JB Masida just missing out, along with Wojciech Savidovic, who we did see getting hit quite a lot in race 2. Then it's Nathan Davis, the Welshman, in 27th, then Ricardo Carlson 28th, 29th. In the results, Dennis Neidhart, then Lee Berridge around at the first chicane after a bit of contact. Then Marcel Fritsch, Ben Gregory, John Roberts, Kip Stevens, Mark Woodhouse, Jamie Rushworth there in 36th place. Baron Glover, Rob Sutherland a couple of seconds behind him there. And Jamie Wilson, Simon Field, Luke Kidsley, and then the cars out of the race, Morgan Butler, Marius Breuer, who got turned flying into the wall on the back straight. Paolo Bremer, Ash Sutton out very early on as well, and Damian Harris also out early on too. Not the best evening so far for either Sutton and Damian Harris. So I'm hoping for better things in race 3. They might learn something in this warm-up session as well, which is 10 minutes in length.
Yeah, and that's going to allow us to go and maybe grab a quick beverage, as we're going to go off and see some adverts before the final race. But don't go away, because we'll be back just after the other side of the break for round 3 of the day from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Welcome back to the Circuit de Catalunya here on iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV. This is the ARLTCR again. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Sam Kumo bringing you all the action from this fantastic circuit in Spain. And Adam, it's the third round of the day, which means it's the latest one in the evening. It's that the temperature will be slightly cooler on the track, and we're going to see potentially some better tyre wear for the drivers out there.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of long corners here, which will be pretty harmful to the tyres, like turn 3 and the long hairpin that we're using here at turn 10. So watch out for those two zones. But yeah, the sun going down will have an impact, and I wonder if they've got it right for the right time of year, because we're now at the end of October. And in countries like Spain and Portugal, the moment the sun disappears behind the clouds, it does tend to get very, very cold very quickly. But no such issues on iRacing, as you can see from our graphic. 24 degrees still, with the sun just setting here. So yeah, the grid's starting to form up now, and we'll be getting set for another 11-lap race.
Yeah, Mark Johnston's going to be on the pole. Craig Williams alongside him, so it's going to be a fun start, I think. You see the grid cycling through. So Savinovic, he just missed the reverse grid. Alex Simpson, race 2 winner, is going to be starting in 24th place. Here we go. Let's go here at Barcelona. Good start by Williams off the second position. He really got away well. Simmons gets a great slipstream. Williams almost pushed him into the pit wall. Oh, 3 wide then between them. To turn 1. I'm sure that Simmons is not going to like that at all. It's going to force the issue with the Craig Setup Shop cars, surely. But it's Johnston into the lead, then it's Williams, then it's Simmons. Ward in 4th. Let's have a look at Simmons then. Let's see if he tries to make a move on Williams. It's Johnston going slightly off. And Simmons flashing the lights at Williams. He'll be gesticulating furiously.
Yeah,
I said to Sam Fitzpatrick on Monday, I said if iRacing had a button to deploy the middle finger, he'd be furiously smashing it down.
Oh, the inside, 4 wide, and that's Hadfield getting sent really through none of his own making for a trip into the gravel.
Yeah, it says full send racing on the side of that car, and that was full send by Fraser Smith, indeed. Oh, and that's Ward getting nudged out of the way by Mangan.
Oh, and Johnston's lost a lot of time in through the middle sector. And it's all kicking off in the background as well. We've got is that Turnbull off? I think it's with the green mirrors.
Oh, Jansen's been sandwiched. Bash. Tibdoka, I think, is it? Who knows? Looking at Leitner. Oh, and he's been sandwiched as well, and he's almost gone into his teammate. He has gone into his teammate. Of course, Harrison.
Yeah, Vlad also in the mix as well. Harrison.
Oh, he's just hit. Cameron Jansen, I think.
Yeah, he was coming back onto the track and then someone just hit him again.
Oh dear.
Chaos in the midfield, but it's going to be Johnston that leads at the end of the first lap. I think he's got a...
Yeah, let's have a look at the front. I think Johnston is under a lot of pressure coming down the main straight here. He's going to need to go right to the inside. Simmons still flashing the lights. He's not going to let that one go. Sees Johnston to see how late on the brakes he is to protect this lead. Oh, he gets a good run out of 1. Side by side through 2. Maybe a little bit of panel bashing going on. Simmons going to try the outside in 3. I'm pretty sure that's not going to work, Adam, but he's going to go for it anyway.
If he pulls this off, I think this might be one of the moves of the decade. Oh, Williams up the inside. Johnston can only defend from one of them, and I think he's going to just...
Oh, he's very late on the brakes, but is it too late?
Oh, Simmons through the middle. He disappears. He comes back as well. Oh.
Williams into the lead then. Don't hear that very often anymore. Oh, Mark Johnston is going to go for it. Oh, so he went wide, Williams. Simmons is through and he tops across Johnston's front.
No messing about there. Here comes one of the core cars arriving on the scene, Oscar Mangan as well. What a fantastic half of a lap that was between the top 3, all battling for the lead, and for the most part it was pretty clean.
Simmons heard clear and just went left. Oh, look at this up the inside. That's Balfour trying to make a space for himself on Jason Cooper. And he somehow stops that car in time. Oh, bash!
Oh,
Well, Leitner and Sedgwick in the gravel.
Sedgwick
dear.
being shown as a leader briefly, he was that far off.
Oh dear. There's Gregory, we saw him upside down in the practice session just now. He's going to get past Sedgwick. Sedgwick's got a slow down penalty, I think. Or damage, one or the other. Black and orange flag for Jack. Oh no, he's going to get going again, just ahead of Bremer. How do you sort that one out? Simmons, Williams, Mangan, Cooper and Balfour. That is the... And Alex Simpson already up into 16th place. He's not been hanging about either. He's got Wojciech Savidovic alongside him. Very late on the brakes for Simpson though. He's one of the best on the brakes. Savidovic ahead of Harrison. Simmons leads by 6/10. Williams half a second ahead of Mangan. Mangan half a second ahead of Cooper, who's half a second ahead of Balfour. The front is mental.
Yes, it's a sea of
mental
orange
everywhere.
and red on the timing sheet. Anyway, that's how close everybody is here. And
Oh wow! Look at this train.
The top 8, pretty much. There you can see all within a shot and all separated by just 2 seconds. All sideways. Williams through the chicane. And this can allow Mangan the chance to get second place on the inside. And how easy was that, or was it? Because here comes the Craig setup shot car. It's coming back on the outside and does have the inside line for the hairpin at the end of the back straight.
Yeah, it does indeed. And Mangan is not going to be able to challenge. Smith ahead of Janssen. Kimichev ahead of Staney, it looks like. Further down, Janssen's just gone ahead of Smith now. Oh, they're exchanging. Oh, contact. Simpson on the inside. Simpson's trying to go through on Janssen. Is he through? He is. Wow. Taking advantage there is Simpson. Balfour. Fastest lap of the race, 1:53.84. Simpson's going all the way across to the white line. Janssen's trying to get slipstream from the inside. Oh, they make contact on the straight.
Oh,
Oh my word, again.
And here comes Wojciech to take advantage, is he? He's ahead of Alex on the... And we're looking from behind now. This is Harrison with Simpson somewhere on our right-hand side, and Wojciech on our left. Are we going to try and make it 3 wide? He did think about it.
Yeah, Simpson not giving up then. On that position. He knows that Harrison is a threat. Harrison needs to somehow trying to find his way past 2 Apex cars that are side by side. Simpson tried to fit in that gap, didn't he? It didn't quite work. Quite managed to slot in behind Savidovic, and he's going to be on the outside for Worth. And he can go around the outside here. He's going to have to take some gravel and some sausage curb. Oh dear. Unconventional line. He's still on the inside for Kamsa though, Adam.
Oh, and on that occasion it's the outside that looks like it's worked out.
Masida.
Oh yeah, 2 wide. 2 deep in front.
Oh, what a lunge by McFarlane. Seems like drivers are using that inside curb to really just pull them round.
Oh, where's he going? He's off to the Rallycross circuit. Toby Ward.
Oh.
Spires Motorsport. He's got going again, and it's got a really nice line really outside of the results. Oh no, and he's been involved in some contact with one of the Apex cars. Might have been Alex Simpson.
I think you're probably right there. Leitner and Neidhart. Mangan sets the fastest lap, 1:53.05. Janssen's desperately trying to get that stop for the pits. I don't know what that is for. The incident limit, but Leitner under pressure from Ward, then Ward trying to recover after that excursion. Oh, Leitner very close, trying to frighten him off almost to the braking zone, really scything across his path, but the lead is 7/10 for George Simmons over Oscar Mangan. Mangan 6/10 quicker on the previous lap on him. He's really
second half of the race is going to be absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, 0.6 of a second quicker. Mangan on that last lap than Simmons. Simmons, though, difficult guy to get by. And that in turn will allow everybody else to close up a bit as well if the pace continues to be set by Oscar Mangan here. The gap now down to half a second. He gained almost a tenth of a second just in that one corner.
Yeah, this has probably been one of my favourite meetings, maybe of the last couple of years, and just the action's been non-stop. Really excellent stuff out there. Some great driving, some bad driving, but some excellent driving. So exciting, Adam's yawning.
Oh, I know. I need to get the oxygen intake up. Yeah, that's what it is. At 5 of 11. Haven't had a Red Bull today. That's probably why.
Oh, not 5 today then, no?
No, not 5 and 5.
It says Pete Newman's crashed. What's happened?
And oh well, he's still going. He's still standing, and he's
gravel, maybe.
27th place. Yeah, I could understand if it had come up on our sheet as showing he crashed if we were using the tight hairpin, but we aren't.
He lost 3 spots in that last lap. Oh, what's happened to Mangan? Oh, it's not a slow down penalty, is it?
You must have cut the inside of the penultimate corner, I reckon.
Oh.
Or do you get slow down penalty if you use too much of the outside? I'm not sure, but regardless, it's all irrelevant now because he's down to 6th place.
Turnbull's through to P5, at least momentarily. Tries to squeeze the Irishman down slightly. Mangan still on the inside though, even with a tighter exit. But again, Turnbull can do the same thing, just work his way around the outside of 4. Have the inside for 5, and he may bring David Baker with him, you know.
Tell you who'll be breathing a massive sigh of relief. Baker on the inside, yeah.
He knew that Mangan would be compromised. The exit would be. Yeah. Trying to get in on the action.
Simmons will be breathing a sigh of relief now. The gap is up to a second between he and Craig Williams. Here's Jason Stepney and Wojciech Savinovic and Kieran Harrison and Fraser Smith as well.
Harrison ahead of Smith then. Close enough for a move maybe? No. This time. Just get very close to the back of Savinovic, does Harrison. George Simmons leads by 9/10 of a second over Craig Williams. Williams 3 tenths quicker on the previous lap. So he's catching him if we were doing the insights thingy. He'd say striking distance probably in about 3 laps.
And the difficulty would probably be quite high, I'd say.
I reckon.
Between these two.
I reckon around here. Problem for Marcel Fridge, he's been off the track for 8 seconds. Don't know whether that's is he still on the lead lap, was it? Yeah, it was. Just all the way down in 42nd now, Marcel Fridge. It's not been a great meeting for him. He's involved in something in race 2. Jack Sedgwick's up to 24th place, just going ahead of Nathan Davies. But we're looking at the battle for second. Craig Williams, Adam, is putting up a great defence at the moment of this second place from Jason Cooper.
We saw how difficult it was for Simmons to get the lead earlier. Came past Craig Williams, and Williams still isn't letting him get away. And if anything, Williams is closing the gap. Cooper, in turn, he's also trying to get by the Craig setup shot car as well. So we've got a fantastic second half of the race on our hands here as Williams and Cooper both bounce over the sausage curb there on the exit of the left-hander. Now through the very difficult right, and he's right on the back of the Audi now, isn't he?
Yeah, Williams hit the curb quite hard in the middle of Kamsa. Cooper didn't hit it at all. So now he's going to try and manage his braking, take the shortest route through this left-hander at 10, which opens and then feeds a slightly faster run into the right-hander of 11. Sorry, 12. Now, and then 13 coming up.
Balfour arriving on the scene, and is he going to get third place, is he? It's very close on the exit of the final corner. Side by side down the down the front straight, then onto lap 8. New personal best from Craig Williams. The gap remains 0.8 of a second between Williams and Simmons, despite the battle that was going on in that final sector. And Balfour, is he up into third place finally? Up the inside, he takes a bit of the curb, but he has got past the Swift Cooper Esports car with a little bit of a knock for pleasantries there between Balfour and Cooper. And the Carlson racing car is into third place with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, who will get a little bit of the bubbly? We'll find out.
Yeah.
If he's got the bingo card at home. McFarlane versus Johnston. Oh, Johnston! Is he caught napping? And yeah, he is. Kimichev just walks through the door and goes, "Thank you very much. I'm going to have that 10th place." Although Johnston does lead the AM category by quite some distance, so does not want to give up valuable points towards the championship, which was at the beginning of the night held by Ricardo Carlson.
Yeah, meanwhile, here is Darius Neidhart then with Nathan Davis just behind. 2 Pro-Am drivers going at it. This is second and third in the AM stakes. With Jack Sedgwick just in front of them. Sedgwick's been also in the thick of the action tonight. But this time in race 3, instead of being on the sharp end of the grid, he is in 22nd place after having a bit of an issue at the start, if I remember correctly. We were contemplating whether he was going to go into the pits or not.
He was off in the gravel, wasn't he, with I think possibly Lightner. Now, this is Gregory. It's a Ben Gregory move if I've ever seen one, up the inside of Toby Ward. Mark Woodhouse has followed. Team Mad Car might just about get through. On the outside, just inches apart. Woodhouse with the longer run, but potentially the run where he can keep up more momentum than Ward. That might be the key deciding factor here. Oh yeah, that's good.
And he gets it done as well. Sacrifices the exit speed, but carried so much speed on entry that it was pointless in the end. He was able to carry on and it's up into 28th place.
Might still be in a bit of bother down the main straight though. Is he going to have to defend? He does, and defends well. If he makes the corner, that is. He does, I think. It's Carlson. So the pressure from Simon Field. Field trying to go through then. Oh! Contact. And that's John Roberts coming through. So former AM champion is now going to be taking on current AM leader. Both John Roberts and Ben Gregory bidding to become a 2-time AM champion.
And all this is going for over 34th place as well. It's remarkable, really. You can see just how close everybody is on the track map, though. The leaders are only just going onto the back straight now. And 34th and 35th, they are just here. So that shows just how tightly packed this ARLTC pack is, or has been, at Circuit de Catalunya today.
Yeah, we mentioned at the start of the show that a couple of tenths here, a couple of tenths there would be the difference between being in the top 5 and being nowhere. That Dusty has proved.
And the gap for the front is now just 0.3 of a second. Another personal best from Craig Williams on that last lap.
We did say it would be 3 laps before he caught him, didn't we? And so it has been.
Right, catching is one thing, passing is another. But let's see if he can get that pass done straight away. Simmons straight
right there,
doing what straight over to the wall. Now Williams is doing what Simmons was doing on that one and is flashing the lights.
Yes, don't forget that Williams nearly put Simmons in the pit wall on the first lap, so no real love lost here. And Simmons taking the lead, keeping the lead ever since.
Balfour now trying to find a path on the outside, is he potentially?
That's tidy. That's tidy. That looks good for Balfour, Adam.
Has the inside line for the next corner as well, but we've seen cars run around the outside here today. He nudges it up the inside. And the next corner's the left-hander as well. It's all working in Balfour's favour here, but can Williams just hold it out for a few more corners? It doesn't look like it. And Balfour's through into second place.
Yeah, Williams, a bit of damage now as well. after that nudge. Cooper has to now go into combat with Turnbull in Campsa, which is one of the hardest corners to go side by side in, let's be honest.
Oh, all the headlights have come on. It's getting that dark.
Yeah, I was about to say that the sky had gone from a orange hue to more of a yellowy, grey colour. Those signals officially, I guess, the evening/night racing portion of this meeting, I guess, which is it's going to be all of 2 laps. It's going to last.
Yeah. Oh,
oh, crash!
Don't worry, I think they can see where they're going. JB Masida off in the gravel, and I think he might have been joined by somebody else there as well. I'm not too sure who it was. It was Dennis Neidhart, the Dottie XE car.
Get a good view of how many places they've both lost, I think, after that one.
Yeah, the floodlights have come on as well, I think. Meanwhile, here we go. Simmons, final lap of the race. He's only got to hold on for a few more kilometres, and Balfour, he's got, well, just less than a lap to try and take the lead away here.
Yeah, not maybe the opponent that Simmons was expecting. Craig Williams had done such a strong job in second place throughout the entire race. Nearly the entire race since Mangan had his issues. That maybe he was expecting someone else, but round the outside again for the man from Northern Ireland, Ross Balfour. Second in the championship last season. Second in the race, and up until now he leads, but Simmons going for the big cutback coming out of turn 5, Adam.
That was a great cutback there, and in just enough space to do it as well, because Williams was looking up the inside, Simmons up the inside, into the left-hander, Balfour gives him the space, he now comes back at him, up the inside, that's brilliant, and watch out for Williams, he can take second place away here, he is going to take second place away, up the inside he goes.
It was also 4 wheels all off the track for Balfour going through there, but I suppose if you can get away with it, you can get away with it. And he leads the way. Simmons trying to defend hard from Williams. He's really sliding the car. Oh, he went a bit deep on the brakes.
Balfour's away. He's got a half second
side by
advantage.
side. They must be. Yes.
And Williams has got second place at the death here. Can Simmons respond?
All that effort for Williams. He's gone from second to second in the last few laps. But here comes Ross Balfour. It says number 2 on the side of his car, but he's number 1 here tonight at the Circuit de Catalunya. Ross Balfour comes through, and he's going to win the race and most likely take the championship lead as well. Ross Balfour takes it from Craig Williams. George Simmons just behind. Cooper, Turnbull, Mangan, Baker, Guinness, McFarlane, and Kimichev round out the top 10.
What a meeting that was been in the ARLTC. A lot of crashes going on afterwards. I don't know who it involves. It might have been Simmons and Williams. Yeah, I could take a guess. Simon Field coming across the line along with Rob Sutherland as more stuff kicks off after the finish line. Sutherland there in 32nd place of Free Spires Motorsports in the end. Highest Pro-Am driver, by the way, that was Mark Johnston, Hesketh racing car. We saw him crossing the line to take the Pro-Am honours there. Someone's flying off. That was Ricardo Carlson, I think.
Bremer.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was Paolo Bremer, sorry.
Bremer spent more time off the track than on it tonight. It's not his finest day. The Italian. Alex Simpson out of the race, Adam, as well, 40th.
Oh, well, from the highs of winning race 2 to the lows of finishing 40th and out of the race in race 3.
Damage from the light contact that you mentioned before.
Quite possibly. But what a battle that was at the death there in race 3, with Simmons getting what looked like a perfect cutback up the inside, sending it into the chicane just before the back straight, and then Ross Balfour powering it around the outside. He wasn't using the handbrake, but it was just as dramatic, and he was able to get up the inside and take the lead. And Williams, good opportunism from him, he was able to get up the inside as well and take second place away. So from Simmons, he went from P1 at the start of the last lap down to 3rd place in the end.
Yeah, fantastic, really. I think everybody acquitted themselves very nicely indeed. Some great racing. And look at that, when you see the top 10 within 3.3 seconds of each other at the end of a race, you know it has been a good one. Here's the results.
So Ross Balfour wins by just under 7/10 of a second. Williams in 2nd place. It looks like they're heading to Parc Fermé or something, the podium sitters there. Simmons in 3rd, then Cooper. 4th, 5th, Matt Turnbull. Oscar Mangan in 6th, just ahead of Dave Baker. Dave Baker almost in his customary 6th place there, but just misses out. Corentin Guinness 8th, Ross McFarlane in 9th, and Vlad Kimichev completing the top 10. 11th for Mark Johnston, the highest Pro-Am driver in race 3. Kieran Harrison for HM Engineering in 12th, then Wojciech Savidovic, Fraser Smith, Jason Stechny, Norbert Leitner, the Hungarian, in 16th place. 17th for Adam Hadfield and Jack Sedgwick completing the top 1.5 dozen. 19th for Jack Sedgwick in the end. One of a few drivers to finish where they started in this one. Nathan Davis in 20th place, then 21st for Pete Newman, Dennis Neidhart and Darius Neidhart, 22nd and 23rd. 24th for Lee Berridge, 25th for Jamie Rushworth and Toby Ward, Ricardo Carlson, and JV Masida in 28th. I think I might have been reading a completely different timing sheet there. 29th for Ricardo Carlson. Yeah, this is a lot different. 29th for John Roberts and 30th Rob Sutherland. 31st for Simon Fields, then Jake Blackhall 32nd, Baron Glover 33rd, 34th for Marius Breuer, then Michael Evdoka, Marcel Fritsch. Darius Neidhart is actually down in 37th place in the end, ignore what I was just saying. Paolo Bremer, we saw him going off, the Italian finishes 38th. And speaking of Italy, I think we are going there pretty soon in the ARLTC, in a couple of races I think. Then it was Alex Simpson, 1 lap down in 39th. Luke Kidsley, at least he wasn't last this time, but unfortunately for him, his tale of woe at Barcelona finishes with him in 40th place, 1 lap down. Carl Janssen, 2 laps down. Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera, 5 laps down. Morgan Butler, Kip Stevens, Ash Sutton, and Damian Harris, both at the back of the grid once again here at Barcelona in the ARLTC. They'll be hoping for better things when we head to the land of the rising sun, which is Twin Rim Motegi, which is where we'll be in 2 weeks' time, as we have a week off next week.
Yeah, exactly. And then the week after that is we are going to Italy and we're going to Monza. And then on the 26th of November is Donington National, which I know Adam will approve of that, of course. And then the 3rd of December, the finale, Sebring International Raceway will bring us the final meeting of 2020. Okay, let's see then. Do we have any victims in the interview area? It doesn't appear so. So I believe that's probably going to be us done and dusted for this one, everybody. So Adam, once again, this track delivers in spades, doesn't it?
It's amazing, really. We see so many people moaning and giving the circuit a bad name because of the lack of overtaking it provides in Formula 1. But take away dirty air and all the aero, and this track is brilliant. And the ARLTC's put on another brilliant show for us here. And all we can say is hopefully Twin Rim Motegi will provide more of the same. A track that we're quite familiar with as well. We've raced on the oval and the road course there.
Oh yeah, in this championship. Yeah.
In this championship. Yeah, I think Real Falla was in this series back when we were racing on the oval there in the Kia Optima back in the day. But I think we'll need the next week off just so we can reflect on what we've seen here today, which was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think if this track does ever leave the F1 calendar, I do believe that it will be missed. But it'll be one of those that people look back in a few years' time when they're racing in places like Saudi Arabia and go, we should probably have that one back. But hey, it's not for us to decide that. But what it is for us to decide is the championship. And like I say, over the next so many weeks, that's going to be done in fine style here on the iRacing Esports Network. Just 12 races remain to crown a champion in 2020. But for now, from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Good night.